I got you, buddy. I understand. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up, fam? Bless up, bless up, bless up, bless up, bless up. Get down, get down, get down. What's going on? Shaka been naughty. He been ran off, and he been in the woods chasing and hunting stuff, and then now he know he did wrong, and now he coming back, and he trying his best to be like redeeming himself. About like most of us, you been out there doing what you ain't supposed to be doing, and know you ain't supposed to be doing it, but then you still out there, and you come on home and you trying your best to redeem yourself when you know you ain't been doing the right thing. Yeah, Shaka, you know you ain't right. Look at Shaka. There you go, licking his chops. Yeah, yeah, he been in violation mode. Yeah. What's up, fam? Hope y'all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Eco Nation News that you may or may not be able to use. I'm at a different place right now. So many things I want to talk about, but I'm gonna try to stay on task today. I'm gonna try to not get into a rant because I would love to go into a rant today, but I'm not gonna do it. Gigi told me don't do it. Do it as a separate video. You'll be more effective if you do a certain video rather than live. And one thing about YouTube, lives typically don't get the rotation as a video. When you drop a video, you'll typically get longer lasting type of exposure versus doing a live. You do that one live and just for that day, probably you'll get a bunch of exposure, but it's slowly diminishing. And especially people, for some reason, they feel like they missed out when they see live. It was live recorded. So I'm gonna have to dive in because I want to leave something for my kids, my grandkids, kids, and we watching a lot of stuff going on right now, a lot of crazy things going on, and yeah, it's war, whether we like it or not. It's war out here, and it's a lot I want to talk about, but I don't want to talk about it. It's one of them things. But we got to have some conversation. What's going on, seed, soil, and sunshine? Bless up, bless up. I'm in the hospital. Please pray for me, seed, soil, and sunshine. All right, let's go in. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for you blessing us. We approach your throne in the humblest way that we possibly know how. Please hear our prayers and please listen to us, Lord. We begging you, we pleading you to please hear our prayers and please restore seeds, soil, and sunshine. We pray that you bless seed, soil, and sunshine. Watch over Triple S and be that doctor. Guide the doctors, lead the nurses, lead the care. Make sure everything from the small atoms of this world, make sure everything connects, make sure everything flows to the restoration of seed, soil, and sunshine. Please spread your love and your abundance of healing power upon seed, soil, and sunshine and restore. And I'm praying that you come back. In your name we pray. I'm just praying that you come back. Yeah. Yeah. Kathy B, what's going on, Kathy B? What's going on, Kathy B? Good to see you, Kathy B. Y'all put some T's in the chat. Put some T's in the chat. Many of us, even though we may be in hospitals, we may be in our beds, we may be outside gardening, we may be driving, we may be traveling. It's a blessing to be amongst the living so that we can make an impact for not only today, but also to tomorrow. You are a gift. It's a reason why you're here. It's a reason why you're still here amongst the living. You got to know that your value is needed not only to you and to your family, but to mankind. And it's up to you to make sure that you utilize your talent and don't bury it and use it for the uplifting and the blessing of others. Okay, fam? Much love. Great to catch a live. Good morning to you too. Mona Love 2 Farm. Mona Love Tooth Farm. Mona Love Tooth Farm. I like that. I think we make a beat out of that bad boy. Good to see you too as well. Many blessings and welcome on in. I'm gonna try my best to make your time worth spending right here. Because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to spend it right here. And look at you, Kathy B. Come on through. Come on through. Thank you, baby. Appreciate that, Kathy B. Thank you so much for the gift. Thank you so much for the love. And I don't know if y'all see the backdrop, but we made it through the winter storm, fam. We made it through the winter storm. And I'm going to shine my light down here on the ground. We still got ice dripping off the roof. We got patches of snow, small, minute patches of snow, not a lot. It's remnants. I'm working on the deck over here, but it's wet and nasty, and we still got remnants of snow right there. Went and got some wood yesterday. I'm gonna try to do some floor joists, put that in, and concrete in some of these pillars, and slowly put it together, fam. So thank you, Kathy B. Appreciate that. That'll take care of 2x6 right there. That'll take care of 2x6. I appreciate that. Just know when you see the deck finish, you helped with that deck right there. You helped that. You know what I'm saying? Bless up, bless up, bless up, bless up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. MHW, what's going on? Glad I caught you live. I'm glad you caught it too. I'm gonna try my best not to talk about what's going on out here in this world, but we're gonna talk about some investing, some homestead investment, and I want to change your perspective on investing in homestead, because a lot of times we talk about stocks, crypto, and nothing wrong with that. I ain't dishing none of that. I do a little bit of this and that too. Don't get it twisted now. You got to diversify what you're doing. But what I want to do, I want to go in and let's talk about changing your mindset on investing, because we got a lot of uncertainty and crazies going on in this world. And your family needs you. Your family needs your talent, needs your gifts. And whether you like it or not, it's gonna be some people out of work. It's gonna be some people gonna be evicted. It's gonna be some people, and we know this happens. It doesn't matter what time of the year, but I think we're gonna see a more increase of these happenings. And we're going to have more and less of maybe government intervention or preserving or helping the everyday person. Everybody from veterans to people of color to women. We're going to see a lot of different changes, fam. And with that said, I want to enlighten you. And some of y'all already know, because y'all already own land. You got land, y'all homesteaders. I get it. But some of you all are entering into this world. And like I said, I'm not going to keep talking about buying, just entering the entry level points, but I want to talk about, let's advance our mindset. Let's expand our mindset on what we're doing and how do we invest strategically where it's going to be beneficial. And it's going to help us whether we have money or whether we don't have money. Because I'm telling you, I don't know how soon it's going to happen, but I watch as we transition from tangible goods into digital assets. And you know how I feel about that. I'm still going to ride the wave because I want to get it, but I'm going to convert it as soon as I can into some tangible assets. And that's just my old way of thinking. I need something I could touch and I could feel. I don't want no virtual wife. I don't want no virtual children. I don't want no virtual land. I don't want no now I will invest it, but as soon as I can flip it and turn it, I want to turn it into something tangible. Follow me, fam. And because we're going down this road, and I want to get your mindset right, because you remember when you had the tape, the cassette tape, or maybe the 45, or you remember when you had a CD and then you placed it into the player. You owned a piece of that music. The only way somebody could take it from you is if they came in, they broke into your car, or they came in that bag. I used to have a duffel bag, and it was full of cassette tapes. And then I had another one full of, I had those CD holders. It was full of CDs, right? And I really didn't like the CD era. I love the quality, the sound quality of CD, but I really wasn't feeling it because I was horrible when it came to not scratching CDs. But follow me, fam. It used to be a time where you owned a piece of whatever you liked or whatever you wanted. And I don't want you to get caught up in the sauce and get so infatuated with all this digital. We used to have SD cards. We used to have memory cards. Your computers came with memory cards, CD-ROM, CD-ROM burners, all of that. Well, if you notice, as advancement in technology happened, it's taking more and more away from you as a consumer. We watching big stores that have been providing small communities, large communities, they closing. And we're watching larger companies getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And they are controlling the pricing, they're controlling availability on products, they can controlling what you consume. It used to be where you could go to a store and get a whole line of different things. And now we limit it to only certain brands, only certain things. And as we advance in technology, and then you got AI, convenience, and all that good stuff, I ain't knocking it. Some of this stuff it's like we on a train that we don't control where it's going, but we riding the train, right? So some of this stuff you need to monetize it. You need to make sure that you in there in the mix, but you want to think about converting some of these things into tangible goods. Because give you an example. If I stop paying my taxes on my land, I got 3 years to get it together. 3 years to get it together because it's going on auction. Versus if I stop paying my rent, I might have 1 or 2 months. Sometimes if you're lucky, 3 months. 3 years versus 3 months. If I stop putting gas in my car, it just won't run when I run out. But if my car is paid for, it still sits there. So if I'm not generating income or my income gets strained and my car is paid for, it may not be the newest, it may not be the flyest, but it's reliable. It's getting me from point A to point B. And I might want a certain style or type of car right now, but I can afford to pay cash for another reliable car. You might want to think about, I'm going to stop and invest and put some money in this car that I found that's reliable, not necessarily desirable, but I feel like it's pretty reliable. And then I'm going to keep saving for something that I'm going to later on make payments on, if that makes sense. I don't know if this is making sense, but I'm hoping to make it sense. Y'all let me know. Give me a thumbs up if this is making sense, because I'm going somewhere with this on investing in the homestead. See these trees back here? If it get real bad, I don't want to let them go, but I got to let them go if it gets real bad. If it gets real cold outside, I got trees. I can cut them up, cut one down right now, and get ready for next winter. See, it's preparation phase, fam. One die, I let it fall, I cut it up, I stack it up. Guess what's gonna happen? I got firewood. So if I ain't got the money, or the money get funny, which some people try to flex on all this internet and all this kind of stuff. They try to act like everything's good, everything's gold, but you don't see them hide they Bentley. You don't see them tucking away. Maybe they Dodge or Mopar. You don't see a lot of the stuff behind the scenes when instability comes. You watch all the YouTube content creators, the easy way, it's the easy key, it's this and that. You don't see it, just like sales. I remember when I was in sales, I spent a lot of years in nothing but commission only sales. And I love commission only sales. Only if I could just find the right thing, I'll do it again in a heartbeat. But in the beginning, you like, how in the world? They put you on a little stipend back in the day. They put you on a little stipend. It ain't enough to pay your bills or nothing like that. But then it's enough to keep you like a carrot dangling, to keep you going on, right? And then so here I am where I'm doing commission on the sales the first 3 to 4 months. I'm like, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if it's gonna make it. I got more month than I got money. You know what I'm saying? My friend back there, he always into something, you know. But he been running all morning. Shaka been running all morning. But going back, then eventually I started getting my stride, and I said, okay. I had a good month. Sometimes 15, 16,000, $20,000 a month, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm feeling this. And guess what happens? I learned that even though I had the 15, $16,000 a month, if my month was 3,500 at the time or 3,000 at the time, I went ahead and paid 2 and 3 months. So even though I got that 15 grand, I was up by 90 days. Did it mean I slacked doing them 90? No, I still went hard. Some month might go down to 2,500. Some month might go up to 5,000. And then I kept doing the same thing over and over again. That's what I want you to think about when you're doing your homestead, when you think about going off grid, because I'm trying my best to get more people to own your land, own some assets, some natural resources, because owning natural resources like hit different. Please don't rock my, can you not rock my table, buddy? One thing about owning a Belgian Minois slash German Shepherd, but he acts more Belgian than he does German Shepherd. They're very clingy. They have to be close to you. They beg for your attention 24/7. They don't like the fact that you exchange your attention. So you have to be, if you're not used to that. For me, I wasn't used to it. I wasn't used to nothing being clingy like this with me. But Shaka, on the other hand, he teaches me to be more inviting, to being close to a living being. You know what I'm saying? So he does that, but he don't let me go too far without him knowing where I'm at all time. But going back to the sales, you have to prepare yourself for the good months as well as the bad months. You got to understand, in sales, there's always you working against your competition. In sales, you working against your company sometimes. Sometimes your company get funny about what they want to pay you, especially if you're doing very good. And then the money get to rolling in. They get comfortable with the money. They might mismanage some money internally, or they might get tight, just like you get tight on your bills. Sometimes you have a fabulous month, but then they kind of tight on their money, and they went after a contract or something like that, and they margins was low, and some of the expenses it rose, and then now they want to question, because you don't get paid till they get paid. Now they want to question whether they did more work versus no. I brought this client in, I brought this job in, pay me my money. So in sales, especially commission only, they have no illusion. They can fire you at any time. They can let you go at any time. You don't get vacation time. You don't get sick time. You don't get nothing. If you don't go kill and eat, you don't. If you don't go kill, you don't eat. Bottom line. That's why I guess I love that so much, because when you did go get it, and stuff went to connecting, man, it was a blessing, fam. It was a blessing. Same thing on your homestead. You go and you work 8 hours, 10 hours, double time, triple time. Take those sacrifices and invest back into your homestead. I get it. You might want to buy some crypto, buy you a tiller. You might want to buy some stocks or more investment, or you might want to even buy a vacation or whatever. Take a piece of that. Get you a generator. Take a piece of that. Buy you some fruit trees. Take a piece of that. Build your infrastructure. Annabelle was an investment and still continue to be an investment. Sometimes I'd be like, woo, where did I get myself into? But Annabelle has saved me so much time, so much money, and time is equitable. Time is so valuable. Your time and your energy is so valuable. And the more you get to spend on your property, the more you get to spend on your infrastructure, the more beneficial it will become. I'm watching fruits go through the roof. Fam, we ain't even begin to see. I know we deal with these tax cuts, verbiage, and understand this. I'm not going to get too deep into this, but at the same time, you got to understand, it's okay to recognize, no matter what side of the party you own, people lie because they got a mouth. And it's so many lies that's going on, because I've been engulfed in government for a minute. I know what governors, legislators, I know what presidents, I know what commanders in chief can and can't do. I know the limitations. And when you keep talking about what you're gonna do and how you doing, and you ain't passing nothing, you ain't put you saying what you're gonna, how you gonna do it, fam. I'm telling you, at the end, us everyday people are gonna pay the price. So when you watch food go up, when you watch utilities start to go up, rent, I think the rent eventually they're gonna have us. There's so many people out here renting right now. It's crazy. If you just slept in your car some days and just saved up some of them thousands of dollars with some of these people paying. I met a guy, he flew in on the Tallahassee, and he told me right now he's doing about $4,500 in rent every month. And I said, with your intelligence, with your skill set, not only you could probably remotely work, but you can find something maybe in Alabama, North Florida, South Georgia, or somewhere. Save up for about 90 days and just maybe sleep in your van or car and keep earning that revenue. And you could buy cash, a whole piece of property, fam. And then you could still be stacking that bread, baby. Still be stacking that bread. And now, guess what happens? You're not in that funnel, or you're not in that matrix where I think this year we're gonna go up 20% in rent. I think this year we're gonna go up 30%. Not just because the cost of doing business, but just because I can get away with it and people willing to do it. And the more, y'all know I be deep in that real estate, the more I see more neighborhoods are getting bought out by corporations, man. It just pains me, fam. And I'm just saying, get you some type of tangible good, ownership good that you can invest. And I get it, people in Texas and different places like that, where they doing power lines and solar panel and all this stuff, where they taking people land. They doing this eminent domain. But one thing about eminent domain, you can fuss and fight, but they still got to give you some money for it. When you're dealing with rent and stuff like that, you don't own it, quote own it. You walk away with nothing, fam. It's just an inconvenience, and then now you're competing against everybody else. So I'm just saying, it's cool to have millions of dollars in your retirement or investments, but some of that you might want to consider taking some of it out and buying you some tools, manual tools. What I mean by manual, something that you can go and you can operate, and it does not depend on on you buying something to make it operate. Like I said, even a tiller, yeah, you gotta go buy gas, but it's easy to go buy gas at this point in time and keep it going. Even if you said, I don't have no revenue, no nothing coming in, and I might sell a few things on Facebook or whatever, I can go get some gallons of gas. It's quite simple. Even if you just go around to the junk piles, you can do some scrap metal, and you can change that scrap metal and to get you some gas. You can go by a mechanic shop or something and just say, hey, can I give you so much per battery? And then you go take them batteries and you go recycle them batteries in, and then you'll get a little something. If you see different parts of electronics side the road, you can go and take out the metals and melt some of them copper and all that kind of stuff down, and you can make a little money for some gas to go plant your garden. Seeds, still, while they here, while they're available right now, we're getting ready to go in spring. Get you some seeds. Invest in some seeds, man. Invest in some ways to put them seeds in there. Even if you're not even growing some of them seeds, maybe your children can benefit off you investing in seeds, because I'm waiting on the summer where a watermelon gonna cost you $20 and it's not gonna be nothing. And with a little plot of land, you can grow you 50 or 100 watermelons on top of each other. And you do 50 watermelons times $20, you do the math. It's gonna be a time where just to be healthy and to eat right, it's gonna be so expensive. Some people say it's already here. No, my friend. We embarking on war against self-sustainability, about families, about investing time and spending time with your family and everything. Because y'all gotta understand, fam, you're gonna come a part of your life where you're gonna understand money is important, but it should not be the whole piece of that pie. It should be balanced. It should be balanced. And you're gonna realize that you ain't we don't make enough on one job, even if you're making good money, to just be good. We don't. And then you think about our younger generation, man, in the next 5 to 6 years, we're gonna say, I remember when you could just rake a yard, cut a grass, work at a McDonald's, do this and do that. And the availability of that stuff is not even gonna be there. Period. And we coming on those times. So what do you do? What do you do? What do you do if you don't have the things you need to survive? You need natural resources, fam. People go to wars. We look at Ukraine. Even think about America. We came over to America. People came over to America. What did they come over to America for? They were already had a land. They was already living in another country. Why would the Spaniards or why would Africans come to obtain corn and barter with the Native Americans and then take corn back to Africa? For natural resources. For natural resources. Do not get confused and do not be blindsided to thinking that something that you don't own, don't touch, don't control, don't even have access to the mainframe system. It's almost like your retirement. We got retirement accounts and we need money and we need to take care of what we need to take care of right now. You know, you need to take care of your medical bill, or you need to fix your car or something like that. You can't touch your money that's being taken out of your check every single pay period. And you get penalized if you take your money out. But we going in a trance for all of this digital currency and this and that. And like I said, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with investing in that. But every now and then, take your little of them profits and put it in some tangible goods, some tangible assets that you can touch and feel. Because if you might say the wrong thing, might communicate the wrong thing on social media, you might cross the wrong person, not trying to. Your assets that you can't touch and feel, it can be switched off like a light switch. And you can't even get to it. During the winter storm, let me tell you true facts. During the winter storm, I typically get paid on Fridays, but my check always come on a Thursday. And other jobs, even though I get paid on Friday, some jobs, it would get paid on Tuesday. Guess what was going on? And these credit cards and these banks and all this stuff, man, they know what to do. They know we're going through a storm. They know we struggling. We having to stack up on food. We having to do this and do that. We spending more money, maybe propane, gas, heating, all of that. But guess what they did? They helped my direct deposit. Remember, it's a direct deposit. It's all digital already, man. I don't get checks. I don't get paper checks. It's digital transfer. It's not even a click. It's automated. But guess what they were doing? If I swipe my card, it came out automatically out of my account. But guess what? When it came time for my checks to come in, they didn't come in. And then when the banks were closed, I couldn't reach out to them, couldn't call them, couldn't email them. They already had on the website saying, we're closed due to the weather. Now, you mean to tell me you couldn't automate my check coming in like it normally come in, but you holding it because you know in the midst of our demise and struggling, you know that we're going to spend more money because we at home, we need things, we need resources. And then we, as your customer, you sitting here and going to hold my income, past my payday, and then gonna drop it in after you return back to work. Like it's something physical about this thing. Like, oh, well, we were closed. We had to go ahead. Stop it, fam. We watch credit card companies. They'll wait to a certain time, a certain thing. They'll put this transaction, hold your payment, and then when you get real close to it, then next thing you know, you overdraft, you overspent, you all this kind of stuff, right? And then they hit you with fees on fees on fees, and then they change your interest rate midstream, and then now you're over limit fees, and all that stuff. But you can't touch it, you can't feel it, you have no control over it. But you know these collard greens over here, even though it snowed, they're coming back. Thank you, God. Even though it snowed, the celery is coming back. Even though it snowed, the cabbage is coming back. When you put your work into something that's tangible, like your land, your garden, your art, whatever that's tangible. If you're a wood maker, it's tangible. You have something where you have control over how it comes and how it goes based on limitation. So why not? Instead of spending $300 investing in this and that, put $300 in maybe into some sheathing, some mulch, maybe plant some additional trees, some fruit trees, because during the harsh storms and stuff like that, some of them may survive and some of them won't. But you diversify and you plant them in different places, different locations. Guess what happens? Every year it blesses you and blesses others, right? So let me go to the chat. I've been kind of on this on this stream of just Hey Timothy, what's going on to you? Good morning to you too as well. Good morning. What's up, family, man? What's going on? Got them T's in the chat. Thank you for coming in. That's the queen right there. Y'all send a shout out to the queen, man. Great day, beautiful people. Great day, beautiful queen. Good to see you, as always. Hey, what's going on, Ms. Native? Got them T's in the chat. I see you flexing. Good to see you. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Kathy B, for the super chat. Family man, what's going on? Good morning, Belinda. You made it through the storm, Belinda. Good morning. It got cold, didn't it, Belinda? It was beautiful at the same time, but it was northern people. I got respect for you. It was time we couldn't even open up our doors, man. I'm like, what's going on, man? We got ready to open up front door, man. Front door wouldn't even open, or we had a screen glass door, couldn't even open that one time. And then when it started thawing out, we got ice and stuff dropping off all over places. I tried to go for a walk out in the on one of my nature trails, and man, it was like missiles dropping off. It's so much I didn't know, man. When it came to this snow, it's so much I wasn't privy to, and I get it. It snowed here before, but it didn't. I've never seen this type of snow and this amount of snow, and it was crazy, man. And driving these roads, I don't know what it is about people when it rains and when it's challenging situation. For some reason, people want to hit the gas, man. I don't get it. I was watching cars trying to go up an incline, and they were just slowing down first, and then what they did when they slowed down almost to a stop, then they tried to hit the gas, and it's like it ain't going nowhere. I thank God that we did have an all wheel vehicle. You know, Gigi, her car's all wheel, and it did perfect. It did great in this weather. I really say invest into an all wheel. I know I'm not doing pronouncing it right, but where all the wheels move, not just the front wheel drive, not just the rear wheel drive, but it has a differential thing where it just pay attention to the go. I get it. I saw you, bud. Okay. I saw you. All right. But you know, having those vehicles, man, it really definitely help. Be Rich, what's up, man? What's up, man? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Bless up, bless up, bless up. This is my favorite. You know what? I want to talk about it. We had our fruit trees to produce, our citrus trees to produce. This year too, with a lot of our citrus trees, they did very well. They still young, they baby trees. I can't wait to get to year 5 and year 6. It don't take that much to sustain a family because it happens in abundance. When our trees produce, they produce like crazy, man. But invest in preserving some of that stuff. Like you get all this citrus. You're gonna can it, you're gonna jar it, you're gonna freeze some of it. You can freeze citrus. Them little ice cubes, like if you got lemon, freeze some of it, get you some ice trays. I'm talking about investment. Get you some ice trays, or even get some Ziploc bags and pour it in there, juice it, pour it in there, and have your little small baggies. And when you're drinking water in the summertime or what have you, drop them little cubes into your water. Hydrate yourself. When you get in wintertime, you get the sniffles, you get the colds or whatever, take some of them cubes, boil you some water, drop them cubes in there. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have to really invest not only financially, but time-wise into what we're doing on the homestead. So there's so many different things, and you got to look for those creative ideas and resources that we so used to going in markets and grocery stores to get a watermelon or to get a certain fruit that only should be able to, in your area, produce once a year. We get it year round, and we so used to just being able to get it. But what happens when the cost gets so expensive that you can no longer afford? And for some reason, all the stuff that's bad for us, the prices are not as high as the stuff that's just healthy for us. It's a reason for that. Because I said it before in my live, you take a healthy child that goes up to the age of 70 or 80 years old, that child that's healthy, active, eat right, all of that, exercise, do all of that, puts not a lot of money into the system. But if you take a child that may be early onset on diabetes or whatever kind of health issue, and they can only live 40 years or 50 years due to their health, they have put more into the system than that 80-year-old person that's lived 80 years. Fam, I know we don't like it, but when I say we go to war every day, we at war every day. You got to understand this. There's corporations and things that don't care nothing about you. You got to understand that no matter what they lie or how they say they can contribute to this or contribute to that, you got to understand it's not in your best interest in most cases, not all, but most. My great-grandfather used to tell me about when he was with Tuskegee Airmen and everything. He used to tell me about when he grew up, when he was younger, his grandparents, they weren't even considered as humans. They was a product. Like a tool. They weren't even considered being humans. And that's not that long ago. And if they can do it to remember, whatever people show you who they are, you believe them and you listen to them. Gigi, you know where I got that from. But when people show you who they are, you listen to them. And the things that they do to other people, just remember they'll do to you. It's almost like you going to a job, you're walking on a job, right? And your first day, you go on the job. You don't know nobody, you ain't connected to nobody, right? And you come on the job and the friendliest person will come to you at first. Beware of that first person to come to you and share you with everything and tell you more stuff about stuff you ain't even asked for. Tell you about the intricacies of who gets along with who don't get along with who. Just remember the same thing that they tell you and talk about with you, they'll do the same thing to you. Fam, understand this. You might say, well, my grandparents didn't have to go through that, so I can't connect with that. But just remember, if they did it to one, they can do it to them all. When I say value, they look at you as value. Have you ever in the South, if you grew up in the South, you got fire ants, right? And if you ever had fire ants in a not great place, maybe at the footsteps of your entry level of your house, or maybe it's in a flower bed or whatever, and you want to get rid of the ants. Back in the days, people used to put a little gas on it, right? Or they give them some grits. And when they give them the grits, the ants love the grits and they eat the grits. But guess what happened? The grits swell inside the body of the ants and they pretty much kill the ants. Or they take one ant bed and they scoop up some of the ant beds and they put it on top of another ant bed. And then now they start war and they kill each other and it kills the bed, the ant bed. Sometimes you viewed as an ant. Understand, everything in this world that's offered to you is not always in your best interest. And you got to be strategic. One of my great managers always told me when I worked for one of these corporations, he said, control what you can control. And when I say I didn't get it in the beginning, but then I pondered on it, I thought about it. Listen. This piece that I got out here, I control it. Last night I woke up. Some things y'all don't know about in the country. You have to get used to it if you ain't from the country. You know, you get these small towns, and if you're back in the backwoods, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you got to be your own law. You know, I'm packing and I'm stacking. I ain't even playing around with it. You come here, you better come here right, and you better come with a passion. And you got to understand, there's no options with me when you come back here. So last night, I was waking multiple times by different stuff, and people get a little rowdy sometimes, and there was somebody out there just letting them off. Wow, 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 wow. I could tell it was an automatic rifle, right? They just letting them off. But it was close. So, you know what I do? I go, I get up, look out the window, do what I need to do. Sometimes I need to go outside and see where the proximity is at, see what's going on. You don't know what's going on because people, for some reason, want to go to the rural country to do dirt. Whether they throwing out debris. Sometimes I had to deal with people with debris. Sometimes I have to deal with people who just curious. Sometimes you got to deal with hunters. Sometimes you got to deal with people that don't want you here. You know, let me tell you this story. All right. And this is how I've learned to deal with this journey in life. So imagine if, like I told you a story about my grandmother, she took care of this family, right? She took care of the family. She washed, cleaned, did all this stuff. She ran the store. She cooked the food. She cooked breakfast. She got up before day, cooked breakfast. She cooked lunch or dinner, whatever you want to call it. Then she put some other stuff where they could warm it up in the stove. She vacuumed, she dusted, she cleaned, everything. And they had a market. They had like a market store. She ran the store. She cleaned the fish. She washed the eggs. We cleaned out the freezers. They had vegetables. She would shell peas, all of that stuff, man. Cut up, take husk the corn, all of that. All of this every single day for 7 days out of the week. She did this for decades. And as a little boy, I would sit in the kitchen and she would cook and she'll fix me something after she fed everybody else. She was the last to eat, right? And then once she got everybody settled and took care of everything, they would ask for some more tea and this and that, got everything settled. And once she got everybody settled, because she pretty much knew everybody, because, you know, she raised some of their kids and their grandkids, and they would all come over, because a lot of them that were farming and stuff like that, they would come over during dinner. And my grandma would would prepare food for the whole family. And I'm talking about, you probably had that kitchen table, probably have 10 or 12 people every day. That was a routine day, right? Not only that, she also used to give, because there were some poor people that worked at the store, and she would get some food to them too. But then after she fed everybody, she would feed me next. And I sit on this little stool, very much like a stool way back there in the woods. It was very similar to that. That's why I keep that stool. It reminds me of my youth. But it was a little stool that sat in the corner by the stove, and I could eat off the counter. And she'll fix my food, and I eat, and I just watch her. I just used to always watch her. And that table, if I got up out of my chair to go sit at that table to eat, I don't know what would have happened. And I'm going somewhere with this. For some reason, we keep going to the table asking for some food, which you weren't invited. You weren't asked to come. You weren't with to come. And when you do get an invitation, you eat everything and you leave nothing. What happens when you say, me as a child, I sat there and I said, one day I'm going to have my own land. I'm going to have my own little roads. I'm going to grow my own food. And I'm going to have my own table. I'm going to cook my own food. And I'm going to eat good. I'm going to eat very good. And no one will interrupt me while I'm eating. And if they do, I have to deal with the situation. You know what I'm saying? As I think about these things and I see what's going on, and I look at disappointment in a lot of people's faces, especially people that I can relate to. You know, I understand the struggle. I understand what's going on. And you watch things being stripped and ripped away. Fam, there's only a window of opportunity. That time when you are invited to the table, get everything you can get. But then also be at the point where you can learn something from being at that table and then build your own table. Look at the dimensions of the table. Look at what's being served. Look at the plates. Look at the chairs. Smell the food. Take it in. Learn how it's prepared. Learn how it's organized. Learn how it's laid out. And then go back and get you that land, that house, the table, the furniture, and then invite those who probably wouldn't be invited. And when you grow your food and you grow a little bit and you get your family good, share a little bit with somebody else that probably couldn't be there, like my grandmama did when she shared that food out with some of those people that worked out there. And the crazy thing is, some of y'all might close your eyes and all y'all see is white and black when I tell you this story. Some of the people worked at the store weren't all black. They were poor, lived in the cars. When my first experience in watching a family, it was a family of three. I never forget, their last name was Moores. And I could call their name, but I'm not going to do it. Most of them probably gone by now. But I remember the Moores, they worked my grandmother. They did all the nasty work, you know, they did all the gutting of the fish and gutting of the animals and cleaning out the fish stalls and moved the sewage, and they did a lot of stuff. They were dirty looking people, but they were some good, nice, kind-hearted people. And they weren't black. They lived in a Chevrolet, a 1974, 75 Chevrolet, not extended cab, but a Chevrolet C10. They lived in that, and the back of it was full of junk, and the front of it was full of stuff all over. And they had 2 chihuahuas. I call them chihuahuas. I guess what they call them, little dogs. They had 2 of them. They had fingernails like they always want to bite you when you come up to the truck. But I remember I wake up some mornings, I get up real early in the morning, I walk over there by the store, and they all laid in the car, and they son, they had one son, and he was grown man. He was an older teenager at the time, but I called him grown because I was a child at the time. They all slept next to each other, man. I don't care whether it was hot, cold, whatever. They slept in that truck every day. But my grandmama fed them when she cooked. My grandmama fed some other people that worked in the store. And some of them walked miles just to come work at the store. Rain, snow, sunshine. I'm saying all this to say, yeah, there was structure, there was different things in there. But I'm saying you are resilient. My grandmama was resilient. She was passionate about what she did. She was strong, compassionate. She had opportunities to just take everything. She could have took all that food and just took it back home and put it in her refrigerator. They wouldn't even notice it. The folks were filthy rich. She could have took everything and sat it somewhere in storage, but she didn't. Every chance she had a chance to share something with somebody who didn't have nothing, she did that. To me, that's a leader. You know, your stomach full, you good. What's wrong? Taking care of somebody else. But you know, somehow we got away from them type of mindsets. We got away from those type of ideas. And somehow we got to the part where we just self-serving, period, time after time after time again. And I don't know. Out here in these woods, trouble come knocking on your door. You don't look for it. It come knocking on your door. And you have to address it. And you can try to be all, ooh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to confront. I don't want to own this. I don't want to have no sticks around my house. I don't trust the sticks. And you know what I mean by stick? I wouldn't want to beat nothing. I wouldn't want to hit nothing. And I'm not talking about just 2-legged animals. I'm talking about 4-legged animals and all kinds of stuff. Spiders, ants, snakes, gators, coyotes, other predators. You know, time I had a rabbit was outside, out by the road, and there was a rabbit raccoon out there. You call animal control, it was off hours, all that, do whatever you want, but sometimes you gotta dispatch it. You gotta just take care of it. You gotta take care of it. Sometimes when something get into your chickens, they attack your chickens, and it's 2:00 in the middle of the night, you gotta get up. You gotta get up. And you gotta defend what's yours. Can't be scared. You know, not to say nothing wrong being scared, but fear should drive your adrenaline to action. Times where we sitting in the RV when we first got back here, all of a sudden, somebody come knocking on the door. We back in the woods, the RV back in the woods. It's this dude that came walking through there looking for his cousin. So I was very eager to help him find his cousin. People are shifty and shady. And then you got good people. And those good people, you got to give them a little bit of your dinner table. You got to bless them as much as possible. And for the ones that ain't good, you got to deal with them real quick and let them know real soon that this is not the place for you to be. It's cold, it's harsh, just like them ants that you pour the gas or pour the poison on and they die. They done built the whole house. They done built the whole community. And you just take them out like it ain't nothing. Understand this. Some of the powers to be, they look at us like ants, fam. Whether we like it, whether we don't. This ain't no playground, no cakewalk, no skipping and hopping, none of that stuff, fam. The reason why I keep saying get you some land, maybe you can get enough land that you can have a little space. Maybe you can have enough land that you can decide what you want to watch, what you want to hear, what you want to listen to. Maybe you can get enough land where you're not impacted by ups and the downs, contracts in, you know. If I got fired tomorrow, you know what I'm going to do? Spend more time on my land. I'm going to plant more, you know. I might have to move some stuff around or do some things. Might even have to let go of a few things. But guess what? I still got my land. I still got a place, a peace. Don't have to worry about nobody coming and doing this and doing that, right? Then I got a place I can protect, a place I can invest in. Every tree I plant, God gives us the increase. And it don't come small, it comes large. So every man hour that you work for somebody else, putting it into somebody else's pocket, start investing a little bit into yourself. It's like education. When you get a skill, when you learn something, can't nobody take that away. The only way they can take it away from you is, I don't know. Maybe in the spiritual realm, you still have that knowledge, you know. It's something that can't be taken. And right now we're watching where it's going to be fewer. We're going to have these opportunities, and we're going to watch the increased education going to get higher and higher. And it's going to be real unpopular in the beginning not to be heavily educated. But then eventually when the tables turn, when you can't sit at that table, when I can't go into the family house and sit at that table, you're going to watch the rules going to revert right back, because it's a strategy, fam. We need to wake up and understand that. How do you combat that? How do you do it? You get involved, but then you also build a place of natural resources. You protect your place of natural resources. That's what you do. You know, if you take away some things from me that I trade and barter with, guess what happens? I revert and go back to nature. Bird don't worry about no interest rate. Bird don't worry about no contracts. Don't worry about no profiling. Don't worry about no election. Don't worry about none of that stuff. A bird continue to do what a bird does. And somehow, we care so much about who wife and who husband and who did this and when they did this, and we ain't preparing ourselves whatsoever. We're not doing what we need to do to survive. And these same people we got this interest and compassion on, they're going to be all right. Even somebody locked up going to eat. Even somebody that's incarcerated going to eat. They're going to have a shelter. They're going to have food. And if they get sick, they're going to have a doctor. And you're behind out here, caught up in all this stuff, and you don't know, if you don't come up with resources, guess what happens to you? You don't have no place, you have no food, you can't go to the doctor, you can't do none of that stuff. So just be aware, fam. Be aware of the situation, be aware of your situations. And we are resilient people. I don't care what nobody say. We are resilient. You can't kill us. You can't get rid of us. And we don't want to go. I'm so sick of people asking me, why would I invest in Babylon? Why are you in Babylon and you promoting Babylon? Why ain't you over here and over there? Man, greed and corruption is everywhere, fam. It's unescapable. And especially growing up here as an African American, where you going? Where you going? You still gonna reach opposition, fam. But you get your little piece of land, you get your little space, you go back down that land. And for those of you who hadn't tried it, don't talk about it. Don't speak to me about it. Those of y'all who ain't did it, don't even talk to me about it. Keep paying your rent. Keep doing your lease. Keep hoping and praying that don't nobody repossess your car. Keep leasing them buildings. I don't care if you make millions. I don't care if you make 100,000. I don't care if you 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures. You keep doing what you're doing. And then the moment you come out here and you live off the land and you learn how to live off the land, let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. Because then I think we could somehow reason. Until then, you just got a bunch of noise, my friend. Because help is help. Welcoming is welcoming. I was pumping gas one day. I got out during the snowstorm, and I don't know what it's like. Some days the devil just be trying to test you. You want to see what you're about. You know what I'm saying? And it's good. It's good because you can't be emotional out here. Emotions are for your intimate people that you love and trust. The rest of it, man, the jobs, the people, this traffic, all this. Stop being emotional, fam. Being too emotional can get you killed. Let that emotion just get your awareness up, but don't be moving on emotions. You know what I'm saying? Man, it was cold, it was frigid, it was kind of like sleeting, and I had to go to a store that I did not like going to, but I didn't want to be on that road. I didn't want to be way out there on that road. So I went to a store that was convenient to my location. And this store, ever since we moved out here, it's not the favorable store for African American. Even though it's a lot of us there to patronize it, to take care of it, it's not the greatest store. But I was pumping gas, minding my own business, and I had a propane tank, and I had them to fill up the propane tank. The guy, he's not the swiftest guy over there, but they love him. And I took the propane tank over there, and I went in the store, paid for the propane up front, which some people got to do it and some people don't have to pay up front. Certain people have to pay up front. It's just little stuff that I look at that I be like, you just have to keep pushing on, fam. Another truck pulled up at the same time I dropped off my tank. I had, about 30, 40 gallon tank. They had this tall tank. I'm talking about a gigantic tank. And they pulled in after me, right? And he was at me like, yeah, you got to pay for it. And he had a little radio on there. And he was like, yeah, you pay for it. And then I started or whatever. And then, I went in there and paid for it and paid for the gas and stuff. And I'm walking out and I watched this truck drive up. And then they bag up. And he stopped working on my tank. And he go move over to these tank. And he laughing and having camaraderie. And they didn't go in the store. They ain't pay for nothing. They went in there and connected the tank. And it took probably about 30, 40 minutes to get with that tank. It was gigantic, man. And I pumped gas maybe about 10 minutes. Let me not exaggerate. Probably about 10 minutes. And I'm pumping gas. And I get finished. And I'm waiting. And I look at him. And he looked back at me. And then I'm like, bro, my tank. I'm out here wet. It's damp. Don't want to get cold. Don't want to get sick. I'm like, he said, okay, I'll get to you in a few minutes. Did you pay for it? I said, she called it in on the radio. That right. Well, I got confused and I'm like, these clowns ain't even paid for nothing. And they got this gigantic tank. They could drive away just like I could drive away, But I guess it's more of us drive away than it is them. So needless to say, I go back to the gas pump and check on the gas pump. And this guy, he on the other side of the pump. And it's a vibe there. I'm telling you, every time I go there, it's a vibe and it's always some slick stuff. And so I got my little gas tank, trying to fill up my gas tank just in case I need to run the generator. And I put some gas in the gas tank, and he said, "Look at that! It got that mega how did he say it? He said maybe mega stop these maybe a mega make them stop making them gas caps like that. You know all those Democrats and all them bureaucrats up there, and Mega gonna put that to an end. See, if Mega was there, they went and he just talking, he just ran. And I'm not responding to him because I know what he's doing. He's trying to rattle my cage. And I just act like he's not even there. And then he said, "Did you hear what I say? Did you hear what I say about that? That is your can, ain't it? You just saw me putting gas in that can. You saw me with that can." And he said, "Yeah, you know, you get it? You get it what I was saying about Mega? You know, if MAGA was and he just gone, and then so I stopped pumping gas. And I looked at him. I looked at him in his eyes. And I tried to look at his soul when I looked at him in his eyes. And he just stopped talking. I don't know why, but he just stopped talking. And that's all I wanted, for him to just stop talking. Because I get it. You feeling good, you feeling cocky, you feeling all that right now. I get it. I totally get it. I don't hate you. I don't dislike you. You feel like it's like a basketball, football team, but for me, it's a way of life. You know, you ain't never been chased. You ain't never had guns drawn on you. You ain't never had none of that kind of stuff. So you don't understand the tone. You know, like I said, I was in sales. Back in the days when I was in sales, I watched the last time this happened where certain customers didn't even allow me to come in their stores anymore. Small businesses. It was like, "No, we don't want none. We not interested." No, they were some of my great customers as far as buying my products. But it was a tone that happened in rural America, right? That people don't talk about it. It affects you in so many ways, and you know the reason why you no longer can come to the table and sit at the table. You realize the reason why you no longer you have to go off in the corner and sit in the corner and wait for everybody else to eat before you get something. You all of a sudden start realizing that you thought you could come to the table anytime, but you realize you can't come to the table anytime, only when you're invited. And for me to say, I want to come to the table when I want to, and I want to sit amongst you and fellowship with you, that ain't fellowshipping. I really don't even want that table. I really don't want nothing at the table. I'd rather go kill and eat my own and build my own table. I'd rather cut up a tree out here and make my own table. I'd rather grow my own food. I'd rather not eat at your table. Matter of fact, I wouldn't mind if I had more friends around me that didn't mind helping me build a table, didn't mind helping me harvest some food and grow some food, that didn't mind me sitting at their table. I'd rather be like that. And it's not what I want. This life is not what I want. But I'm seizing every opportunity I can to make the best out of it. So when I have my own people that I feel like I would connect to, say certain things and do certain things, even though I delete it, sometimes I might have a conversation or two with them. Sometimes I might try to, because sometimes people just don't know, they don't understand. But this thing is warfare. Every day is a struggle. I'm used to stuff happening for me and being taken away. I'm used to fight for stuff that I earn and can't keep it. If they take this land, they ain't gonna take it easy. I'm gonna get something out of it. And it just gotta happen. Same way you bushel behind to get what you work for, the same thing you do to maintain it. You do what you need to do to maintain life. And when the rules change, you change up with the rules. Because it ain't that you smarter or faster or better than me. You just got more power and control of a circumstance. But one thing about it, I can create circumstances too. I can navigate just like you can navigate. You ain't got to like me. You ain't got to agree with me. Just leave me alone. Don't come messing with me. That's all I be saying. You go your way, I go my way. If we cross, let's cross at peace. If we do business, let's do business together. I need something you got, and you need something I got. Let's just transact. Let's keep it 100. Then you go your way, I go my way. I don't want to eat at your table. And your table really ain't your table. Because at the end of the day, we all got to pay taxes. We all got to pay taxes. And the moment the tax money stop, the moment yours is no longer yours, but it's ours. My family, my friend, I hope y'all have a blessed day. Make sure you invest in some tangible assets. Make sure you invest in some things you can touch and feel. Make sure you can invest in some things that can create sustainability in your life. I don't care whether it's canning, hammer, nails, sandpaper, tiller, tractor, a beat up car, a car pre-1970 that don't have no computer in it. I don't care what you do it in. Gold, silver, metals, whatever. Security, cameras, security dog, some sticks. Get you some sticks, fam. And get out your feelings about them sticks, man. Because I'm telling you, when stuff come knocking at your door and you try to pick this up and all this is locked and you can't unlock it and your accounts is diminished and you say this ain't fair, you go try to buy something and the money won't allow you to buy it, you say this ain't fair, you go try to do this and do that and they say no, you can't go here, you can't do this and this ain't fair. Come back to nature. Come back to nature. Because nature will always give you a warm welcome. Nature gonna make you work for everything you get. Nature might even get you and consume you if you're not careful. But nature is fair. Nature don't care whether you're rich or whether you're poor. But nature will provide. And you can thank nature by sharing it with others. So fam, please, 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 be strong. Hold on. Do stuff that makes sense, fam. All this stuff we've been having fun, it's party time is over with, fam. It's over with. Invest in some tangible assets that can provide you some resources to sustainability. I've been buying more vinyl records lately. That's what Ms. Native says. I still have over 200 CDs. Yeah. One day, be rich. If you got something to play it on, might be like honey in your tea. Because one day, you ain't gonna be able to Google, search, chat, nothing without paying some money. And those that have, it ain't gonna be nothing. Some are like them fires in California. You got people, man, they done pulled everything they had, generational, and they ain't got nothing now. And you got some people, the multi-million-dollar houses don't even mean nothing to them. They got the insurance, they got the cash, they got everything, and they got 5, 6, 7 other homes. Life hit different for them versus 4 or 5 people in your house and y'all still struggling and it's paid for. Life hit different. Happy Mac, what's going on to you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Green grass grows. What's going on? Bless up, bless up, bless up. Let me see. Appreciate that, G Hud. What's going on? Rambo, what's going on? Good to see you, Rambo. Good to see you too as well. CVR, Garden Adventures, what's going on? Good to see you. Y'all ain't got nothing else. I'm finna get on out of there. Let's see. Cherokee says, I'm not ever doing crypto. That's on you. Fam, we gotta be wise too now. Don't get. This is why I keep saying emotions, right? I'm gonna give you an example. Never forget this. I was in a car accident. I had a car accident, my first car. I hit a telephone pole, split the telephone pole in 3 places. The power line fell on my car. It was burning through the windshield. And I jumped out the car, right? And when I jumped out the car, it was raining. It rained like crazy, right? And I was soaking wet and it was cold. And all the cars were like, shoo, shoo. Some of them would slow down. And I was like waving, like, please, my adrenaline was going. I was shaking and everything. Please help me, please. When I jumped out the car, I broke the window. And I jumped out the car and I left my shoes in the car. I jumped out of my shoes. That adrenaline was pumping. But I remember I was on the side of that road in that ditch and it was raining and all the cars, it was almost like I was on a circus show. Some people was slowing down, pointing and looking and doing that. And I'm like, please help me. Help me. Help me. Help me. But I was still trying to be cool. Right? I was in my emotions, right? I was trying to be cool. And I was like, hey, hey, hey. But I wasn't screaming, right? Then it got to the part where, like, okay, I'm really getting scared. It's really going on. And then I saw this one car and I tried to crawl up the hill in the embankment. And I was like, hey, hey, hey. And one, he kind of swerved. He saw me, but he wasn't going to stop. And then this one car stopped. And I was like, please, please help me. I was out of my feelings by that time. I was dealing with true need on what I need. And 2 young ladies, they stopped. And they threw me a jacket. And they had some towels and stuff. And they gave me a towel. And they helped me out. And I said that to say is, when opportunity comes, you better take it, fam. Don't be caught up so much into your emotions and your feelings that you're going to be so rock solid that you're going to let opportunities pass you by. Sometimes we might not like certain people or certain things, but those are opportunities where we can invest and make moves, that we can go and get some tangible assets, that we can help our family get a little bit further. We better open up our minds and be like, hey, I see opportunities here. I'm finna get some of these opportunities. I might not be heavily jumping wholeheartedly with these opportunities, but these are opportunities. I'm finna take advantage of it, and I'm gonna decide what I do with the benefits, because I don't have to keep buying into that. I can use those opportunities to provide opportunities to some people that I care about. That's all I'm saying. Just be open-minded. Just be open-minded. Let's see. Panji, what's going on? Good to see you. It's going to be a rental nation. It's going to be a rentals world, fam. A lot of places you can't even really own. If you go outside this country, we just slowly catching up. We still a young country. We just slowly catching up. They want us to work for jobs and still not getting nothing. If we know what's going on, what are we doing? If we know it, what we doing? Let's see. Yeah, they are. They are, Sylvia. Um, you're not going to have a choice real soon. You're going to have a choice, but it's going to be limited. It's going to be very limited. And you're going to watch a lot of these small companies, they're going to dry up. A lot of companies that's investing into communities and investing in small. And the only way they won't dry up is we be intentional with our spending and go seek them out, go get a little bit inconvenience and go support some of these small businesses, some of these small entities, because we're just going to watch the richer become more richer. They're going to dominate more. They're going to control everything. And you are numbers, not humans to them. You are of an asset value or stock, not people. When you get to a certain level of business and richness, how many widgets and how much can we get off of each widget? And what's the opportunity of so many people buying so many widgets? You're not a human no more eventually. And we watching it every day. You know, it's almost like this. When you go to now I'm gonna mess with Shaka. When you go, I shouldn't say that. It used to be where, let me make sure I'm saying this right. Okay. If I came to you and I said, I got a headache, can you help me? Your response would be, just think about what your response would be. It used to be where you went to a certain professional and you told them about your ailment. They would respond how you probably would respond. They would think how you probably would think. Now it's more of, let me give you XYZ for that headache versus what happened? Did you eat anything? When did it start? What time it started? How intense is it? It used to be a collection of questions before they would administer. But now it's like, okay, we checked your vital signs. Here you go. Next. Because they can't survive without moving a bunch of kids, because that's the world we live in. So we understand that the same thing happens in every facet of life. Pulling at a restaurant, just basic stuff, buying clothes, everything. It's no longer gonna matter what ingredients. It's not gonna matter on what chemicals used to process this or do that. None of that stuff ain't gonna matter, because you're not human. I don't relate to you. I don't connect to you. We in a world where we promoting people that's like robots and void and don't have no human skills whatsoever. If you approach them if you, an average person, approached them, they wouldn't even talk to you. Probably wouldn't be nowhere around you. But you putting social things, putting them in charge of social things, it don't make any sense, fam. There's nothing wrong if we had, boom, let's go do some investment groups, let's go make some money, let's go do this. That's fine. But when you talking about lives and people's lives, Department of Health, Social Services, Department of Children and Families, you're talking about Department of Environmental Protection, you're talking about Department of Agriculture, you're talking about all this, and then you thinking, okay, these are I don't know. Just because I'm rich don't mean I'm good. Just because I'm successful with getting money or getting a bag don't mean I need to be in charge of taking care of your grandmama and your great grandmama. Don't mean I need to be the head of a nursing home. Don't mean that I need to be in charge of adoption agency. I don't even like kids, and you put me in charge of adoption agency. You put me in charge of a kid's home, and I don't even like kids. but I'm successful. I'm rich. I don't even care nothing about your health whatsoever. But you put me in charge of health? Where did we go wrong? And do we have a choice? Do we have a choice in the matter? Some people said a lot of people didn't do this, and a lot of people weren't active in November. Some people said I don't have a choice. I don't like none of it. So what do you do? What do you do? Then you find out years later that everybody can and everybody connected, and the ones that ain't connected, they trying to knock them off or whatever. And then it's just a mess. But what you have to do is go back to nature. So let's talk about going back to nature. All right. Now you out here in nature, you feel sick or you got a little headache or slight headache, and then I go and pull some mint, or I go pull some burdock or some herbs, and then all of a sudden I chew on that and I feel a little bit better. You know what nature did? Nature just helped me. And guess what I do? I go and I water that burdock. I go and water that mint. You know, I might take some chicken poop and spray a little bit around it in the fall time. So we are a community. We are fellowshipping with each other. You know, when the blooms come on the medicinal plants, you know what I did? I got me a beehive. I got pollinators. I even plant certain trees that allow certain butterflies and certain birds and habitat to feed and to live in. You know what I'm doing? I'm giving back to something given to me. I'm creating a community. Now, if we go down the road a little ways and we say, okay, I connect with you, you connect with me. Here's a place over here. But we got to all contribute and give back to nature. Giving back to nature says, man, I ain't got no money. I ain't got no gas for my vehicle. But I got my land. I'm finna go down here and get me some blueberries, get some blackberries. I don't know, them peaches about ready. I might pick me a few peaches. Take me a few greens. Get a little corn. I got salad growing over there in the shade. Give me a little salad. Man, I'm broke, but I'm full. Go over to chicken, get some eggs. I'm broke, but I'm full. Man, I just got off a line working, and I ain't got paid. I ain't got no money. I'm frustrated. I'm aggravated. And I'm sick of dealing with all this crazy stuff. And I don't know how I'm going to continue to pay this and pay that. So guess what? I hit the trail and I go for a walk. Nature giving back, baby. I go for a walk, and all of a sudden, as I go through the walk, I hear a little brush, something in the brush. I look, and I'm watching squirrels play. Darn, that's a little fox that ran across there. I ain't never seen that bird before. Man, the air's so fresh. It's so quiet. It's just relaxing. All of a sudden, my stress levels go. Then I take off my shoes, and I stand on the dirt. And all of a sudden, all the toxins and impurities and all the negative ions in me, they just radiate, and the earth just sucks it up, just absorbs it. The earth keep giving me back, nothing but positivity. So I go along my way, and I get thirsty. I go to my well, give me some water, go to my water catchment, boil me a little water, got some water. I want to go take a nap. I go lay down, take me a nap. What else you need, fam? All of a sudden, stuff don't seem to be so important, and all this trying to do this and trying to do that don't seem to be important. Now all of a sudden, the cable company don't seem to be so important. Now all of a sudden, the restaurants don't seem to be so important. All these high price snacks and all that don't seem to be important. Then all of a sudden, the theme parks don't seem to be important. All of a sudden, me going over here and going over there don't seem to be important because I got my own playground right back here. Just giving back the nature that gives to me. Just something about it. Something about it, fam. You did that with lemon juice too. I know I'm behind on chat. I'm trying to, let me scroll down. Gigi says, my mom always said a dog that will bring a bone to you will carry one to someone else too. So you better watch them. Yep. Yep. You better watch them. You better watch them. Everybody smiling in your face ain't your friend. Everybody just cheesing. You know that guy, that pump, that guy at the gas station, that dude was just so smiling. I saw his business. His vehicle was completely wrapped. I saw his business, and he was just a smiling. You need to get one of them mega. They wouldn't even have them kind of gas caps right there. Why you think they made them gas caps? Once you get used to them, they ain't hard. They really not. A lot of people, but it wasn't about the gas cap, fam. It had nothing to do with the gas cap. He was smiling. He was just smiling wide. Till I looked at him in his soul. When I took a look at his soul, when I saw his soul, I didn't see a bunch of confidence. I didn't see a bunch of warm greeting. I saw emptiness. I didn't see a lot of confidence. I didn't see a lot of greatness. I didn't see a lot of joy. I saw emptiness and insecurity when I looked in his soul through his eyes. Just because you laugh don't mean it's funny. You remember in school when kids used to be so mean? I'm not saying they're not now, but they were real mean growing up when I grew up. You went to school in the 70s and the 80s, man, kids were mean. You know, I grew up around the military, traveled around the world, and then I came, finally, my mom moved back after the divorce, moved back down here to the South, and I had a different rude awakening of life because, you know, in Japan it was different, and California and this place and Florida, everything was different. And the places we went, it was different. Then we grew up here. I couldn't connect with nobody. I didn't talk right. I didn't act a certain way. I didn't hang out with certain people. And kids were mean. I mean, they were mean. But you know what they were doing while they were mean to me? They were laughing and smiling and just cheesing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody smiling and laughing at you and cheesing. And for some reason, when I was younger, you know what I used to do? They'd be mean and nasty. They'd be smiling. Guess what I used to do? I smile back at them. I go laughing with them and everything. Now I don't have tolerance. And I see, when I take a look in your eyes, I see your soul. And when you show me that just because you're smiling and you're grinning, but you got a dirty soul and you empty and you cold, I look at you as a threat. And I ain't finna go out. I ain't finna go out. I ain't holding my head down. I ain't smiling with you. I ain't kicking with you. I ain't gonna pat you on the back, shake your hand. I'm gonna let you know I see your soul. And what's your purpose in communicating with me right now? What's your purpose in what's your purpose in approaching me? You want me to come to where you are? I'm not doing that. I'm protecting my peace. And protecting your peace sometimes can be peaceful. Sometimes protecting your peace can be controversial. And sometimes protecting your peace can be very unpopular. But I ain't coming here for votes. My life is far more important than votes. I grew up in a world where people used to look at me and they spit every time they looked at me. I grew up in a world where people did mean things. I got jumped on. Like I said, I got guns drawn on me, full blazed. I had to lay in the highway face down with my hands behind my back as a 16-year-old boy on a highway because I was going 80 miles in a 55 zone. I've been fondled, grabbed, talked down on. Every weekend, I would take a ride in my shiny car and get stopped and get searched. Get fined sometimes. I always had a little money with me because, just in case. But that was every weekend. So when I don't entertain certain things, I'm not mean. I'm not evil. When I call things for what they are, I'm not this and I'm not that. It's just real. It's my experience. It's my life. And I still live here in the South. And I still love the South. Wouldn't change it for a word. That's all I know. Because I got more good days because I'm intentional with my good days. See, I can choose whether I leave this land or not. I can stay out here all day long, fam, and not be bothered by a soul. Sometimes I can stay out here for a whole week and won't get no interaction if my fam don't buy nothing from Amazon. It ain't about nothing. I wouldn't even see nobody for a week. Easily. Nobody but me and Shaka. And the birds and the bees. And I would be at peace. Learn to be at peace with yourself. Learn to be okay alone. Know thyself. And don't be emotional when you move, fam. And don't tell everybody everything you know. That same worker that came, they tell, well, let me tell you, don't say I said, let me tell you this. Oh, let me show you what the bathroom. Let me show you what this. Oh, by the way, such and such, you got to be careful. Now, I'm not a morning person. That same person. All what happens, life just repeats itself. As you get older, you just see life repeats itself. And you'll have that same person from place to place to place. And then when you see them as you get older, the first person that come to you all that joyous and all that, they're going to be the ones that don't like you. Going to be the ones that no longer speak to you when they come in the morning. Years ago, oh man, let me go talk to this. Let me go try. What happened? And try to figure all that stuff out. But now, okay, I already realized you're going to come in and you're probably not going to like me. But it's okay. I'm expecting that. As long as you don't interrupt my check, we good. We good. You good, fam. And that's how life be lifing. What I mean, when it don't matter what creed, what color, what race, none of that. When people show you who they are, believe them. Don't be shocked. Don't get all emotional. But when they show you who they are, believe them. Take them for what they telling you. They say action speak louder than words. Sometimes action can be confusing if you don't know what you're dealing with. Like I said, they'll be smiling. Got so much joy in their voice. Laugh and all of that. And that's an action. But look at them in their soul. Hold your head up and look at them in their soul. And just be quiet and listen to them. Don't respond. Just listen to them. It'll go from the voice, pitch, and everything start to change. Then they beg for your attention and your response. And sometimes they might even try to shake the cage a little bit more if you don't respond. But you know what you do? You be consistent. Be fair. Next time, fill my tank up first rather than having me sitting out here in this rain and this cold waiting. Oh, all right. Yeah, there was no reason in the world you shouldn't have my tank full. I've been watching you the whole time. Period. You know, put an end to that crap, man. How do you get rid of roaches? You cut the lights on. They scary. Light. Sometimes you don't even need to pull the trigger. You got your light. You just shine the light on, and all of a sudden they get confused and they walk off. Or, sometimes people see them dots, them green and red dots, and it's a light. That's all it is. And all of a sudden they get to scurrying. Shine the light, fam. You got it. Shine the light. Be strong. I was wondering, do people grow corn for their own livestock? Of course. I got one of my neighbors, owns a whole gen, and he feeds his cattle and everything corn. He even let them go out in the field once he harvests them and eat. 43. Appreciate that. Toy, what's going on? Toy McCormick. All right, I'm bringing this to the end. Let's see. Okay, I just don't hear a minute. Okay. What's up, Resilient? What's going on? Tapping in from the Bay. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you. Making it make sense. There go my friend. Making it make sense. If you're gonna say something, need to make sense. Well, just keep your mouth shut. Myra McLean, what's going on? Hey man, let's stop talking. Let's start being by action, And come up with a plan too. Everybody wants somebody to do something, but come up with a plan. A plan that's gonna benefit more than yourself. We always have been resilient, and we will continue to thrive. Amen, sister. That's why I married you, Queen. Cause you about that life too. Ain't no options. No, I'm not even gonna keep going. If you've never done it to survive, just blowing up. Yeah, yes, a lot of people do that. I love my land. Putting in my last raised garden bed today, working and listening. Keep on growing. Keep on growing, Belinda. Greetings all. Traveling around, listening for truth. Crazy mugging eyes. Hey. Drew, what's going on? Drew said baiting. I don't know what that is. Probably something I talked about 20 or 30 minutes ago. But my skin color would just make them laugh. As a female, they think I'm white. Hey, I wish it didn't matter, Miss Native, but it does. I wish it didn't. Why do they keep talking about it? Every time you talk, why life be lifing? I'm the type to stand by y'all side and fight right side beside you. Hey, I be like this, fam. I'm not gonna say I stand by somebody's side and this and that all the time. Nothing negative on what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I'm telling you like this. I'm standing on what's right. And what I mean by what's right was fair and consistent and truth. What's truth? You learn the truth from the word of God. Stand on that. Don't matter what vessel or what vehicle it comes from, You stand on truth. Somebody tell you a lie, they know they telling you a lie, and they straight up telling you a lie. Then you got some people lies at risk where you just straight up lying. I can't get down with you. I don't care what shape, size, color, whatever. I just can't get down with you. Some people do anything for a buck, for $1. Let me tell you about Jesus. He'll be at such and such time. You want me to lure him over here? I don't care what race, creed Judas was. Judas was Judas. Get out from around me. Stay out from around me. And if you compromise anything to dealing with where I'm going, it ain't good. It ain't good. Eco, they ain't take nothing. They better take a nap first. That is. I'm sorry, but I say I'll probably be the first to get got because I don't have the practice for ignorance. We are all human. You know, I'm glad you said that, Growing with Huts. Fam, a lot of people have suffered based on not being strategic. Every time I go into, I'm talking about traveling. So when you travel, and if you know different areas, you know certain areas, you better not speed, you better not rush, you better take your time and go through certain areas. I'm going to say it like that. But if I'm, just say, I know this is a situation that if I go through here, I'm probably going to get stopped and it's probably not going to be a good thing. Not that I want to speed, but certain vehicles, certain cars, and if it's going at a 5-6 miles over the speed limit, it's going to get stopped in certain areas. And I know this. You have to be strategic about what you're doing, fam. But sometimes if you like, but such and such went this speed, and why you ain't stop such and such, and why you didn't do such and such, and why you isolated this, because I'm driving this or because I'm doing that. Like when I used to raise cars, it was certain cars they already knew even my sleeper cars, they knew. They could look at the stands, right? And they knew. So with you knowing this, use your head, be smart. Think about what you're doing. You know you're going into a situation that could not turn out good for you. So play chess instead of checkers. Play rich dad, poor dad instead of sorry, right? You gotta use your knowledge, your experience. You know, when I went to that store in 2025, when I went to that store, I already put my armor on before I went there. Because my past experiences, I knew. And if I get emotionally charged off of something that I know I'm going into, I'm probably not going to come out victorious. It's probably not going to work to my favor. So practice discipline. That's what I love about coming out here. Patience. You come out here, man, you be moving stuff and then you bang your head and you bang your arms and you hurt yourself, and then now you down for a certain day. Then now you start to learn some things that you can't do, and you get ready to work on something, and then you know that if this breaks or this does, or you run into a rock and now you got to figure out how you got to get this rock out of your way. You learn to develop. You get ready to cut down a tree, and then the tree ends up not falling the right way, then it kicks back and then it moves and knock over something else, and now you got to cut down 2 more of the tree because it tore them up. You learn to develop patience. And sometimes you have to walk away from situations. It get too hot out here. It's 100+ degrees and you get sweating and you felt a little woozy, or you feel a little lightheaded. You know you ain't drunk no water. You know you ain't got no fluids in you, but you want to get finished. You learn to have patience and pace yourself. That's what I love about this. And then you apply those things to your everyday walk. Now, I know if I go through this town in this particular car, I need to cut my radio down. I need to roll my window down if it's hot enough, because I don't want no problem about no tent, no none of this. And I need to slow down. You know that. Or, as my good friend growing up would do, he used to just go and get certain cars that he knew wouldn't get stopped. So, I mean, he'll get a truck, certain truck, put a lift kit on it, do this and do that, and he'll be running, I mean, speeding. They might flash the lights at him or whatever, but he'll have it tinted down. He'll have a knock in there, all of that. But it'll be looking country as country, and he would get stopped. But when we were riding in his Monte Carlo with the chrome wheels on it, man, whoop, 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 wasn't even speeding. None of that. I got a ticket one time. I didn't even have a radio in my car. Radio was snatched out. Because I used to install stereo system. I used to do, because I went to school for electronics, and I love stereo systems, man. I used to build boxes and all that kind of stuff. And I was in the middle of changing my radio out, and I went to a place that I knew typically you're gonna get stopped, and I got stopped, and they ended up writing me a ticket for too loud music. I said, I ain't even got a radio. Well, I pulled you over because your music was loud. I'm like, I don't have a radio, dude. Your trunk was rattling and this and that, and he had me to pop my trunk, and I had some 12 punches back there in a box, and I was like, I have no way to connect. I don't have a head unit in here, man. He said, I see it. I heard it. I don't know how you did it, but you did it. And I went to court, talked to him, this and that. They ain't hearing that. They ain't that. Paid $125 and kept it going. I got 50 million stories like that. It just happens, fam. So you prepare yourself to go to war every day. You be strategic about what you're doing, period. Every single day. Because certain situations, if you ain't prepared, you might get consumed. Next thing, you're on probation. Next thing you know, you might be locked up. You got a charge. You can't get certain jobs. You can't get access to certain stuff. And then all this stuff happens. I still have to write a letter for when I was 17, 18 years old, when I got locked up. And here I am over 50 years old, and I'm still trying to justify what I did back in what year, 1992, whatever. Hadn't did nothing else since then. No other lockup charges, none of that stuff, right? In my teens, I got locked up a few times, right? But my adulthood, I've been straight. But I still gotta write letters and still get rejected and denied on jobs. But I've been on federal, been here with state, all that. But then certain times, and it's gonna get hard, fam. I'm telling you now, it's gonna get hard moving forward. We're gonna have to be creative. We're gonna have to come up. I would recommend be an entrepreneur and let's support small businesses. Be an entrepreneur. And if you don't know how, find somebody to help you do it, right? But that's just life, fam. That's life. Life be life, and then you have to prepare yourself and be strategic about what you're doing, especially you're going in the line of warfare. I appreciate that, Belinda. Thank you, Belinda. I appreciate that. And I'm just keeping it real, Belinda. It ain't nothing here or there. Good people are just good people. And you already know what time it is. Both handles recently broke and signed that car. She reminiscing on nature. Yeah, nature is fair, man. It don't mean it won't consume you, but it's fair. I watch things get consumed. I seen an owl take out I call him a little big squirrel, but it was a rat. I can't do nothing about that. That's how nature is. One day you're gonna get consumed too. Nature is fair. That same owl, one day we're gonna get consumed. Every night there's a deletion in nature. Every day. And y'all know what I mean by deletion. I mean, it's more deleting out here in nature than it is out there in that civil world. And you have to move on and keep moving. But it teaches you a little something about life. You know, we have animals that mimic things. They'll look a certain way, and then they'll trap another animal. And when they trap an animal, they don't let go. The animal fighting for his life, and then next thing you know, that animal that trapped them consume them. Think about that. Same thing happen every day, every single day, fam. Um, yeah, but it was necessary. Kids are mean, but it was necessary. Those are building blocks to how you socialize and how you interact with people. You know, I needed that in my life to build resiliency and to learn how to discern good from bad. That's why I say, you know, sometimes I see my old classmates and some people I ain't never met before. I can relate and be like, oh, you remind me of such and such. You remind me of such and such I grew up with. You remind me of such and such. Oh, okay. Now I know how to deal with you. You're not a friend. You're not a nice person. I learned those things through association. The younger I feel that I went through that, the better. Because as I navigated, I got better and better navigating through all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have to go through stuff to build us, to build our building blocks, to help us through processes, to help us process stuff. You have to go through the hard. You know, when I first got Annabelle, man, I think I hit my shin and hurt my eyes. I'm like, how hard can metal be? That thing, I'm like, I gotta everything you do attachments and stuff like that. Man, it used to take me hours to change out certain attachments. Now I do them like it ain't nothing. But guess what? I don't hurt myself. I don't scratch myself or none of that most of the time. But in the beginning, man, peeling back skin, peeling off skin, trying to break bolts and move this and turn this and pull out this hitch pin and then knock this through this pin, through this, man, hitting my shin on this box blade and all. It was a mess. But I had to go through that to learn to respect and learn how to move and navigate around my circumstances. Now I do it now like in the dog, right? Not all that backing up, going for it, backing up, turning, twisting, doing that. I'm like, how in the world these people be changing this stuff out? But I had to learn by keep doing it, making the mistakes, going through the different changes. That's the same thing with life. That's why you don't quit. Don't give up. Because the moment you keep quitting, you're going to keep running them same type things. And you're going to keep running. You're going to keep running. You won't accomplish nothing. You can't get your mastery level if you keep running away from certain challenges. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Queen? Good to see you. Let's see. Yeah, Drew, you got to put on not a little bit of, don't just put on the breastplate, the full armor, every day. Because most of the time, not all the time, but a lot of time the enemy tell you who they are. And they may use different terminology or learn different things, but you know, stuff hit certain ways. So like if I said, hey, you come here. Or I could say, excuse me, can you come here for a minute? Both of them saying the same thing, but it's the way it's said. Ha, ha. What you doing in these neck of the woods? Come over here, let me talk to you. All of them saying the same thing, but they hit a little different. All of them hit a little different. And when they hit a little different, be aware of your circumstances. Know your engagement. Know what you're up against. Be cool. Be cool. Be strategic. Oh, didn't you hear me talking to you? Hey, hey, didn't you hear me talking to you? Where do you think he going? She ain't talking to me. She ain't talking to me. But if I'm emotional, I'm in a confrontational situation, I'm finna get at somebody already plotted, already been ready for me. I just mind my business and all of a sudden, but I tell you, be wise. People be plotting. Man, people be plotting. And be ready. That's ridiculous. He was fishing for a reason to write a ticket. I mean, yeah. And see, what I'm saying is it had nothing to do with law enforcement, right? Right? Because my cousin state trooper, my best friend is a sheriff. Um, I mean, it had nothing to do with law enforcement. It's the people. Don't get it twisted now. I mean, don't get it. It's the people. When people show you who they are, whether it could have been a painter, it could have been a plumber, could have been a doctor, could have been a lawyer. But listen to the people. When they tell you who they are, listen to them, believe them. The worst thing you can try to do is group people, because that's what they're doing with you. You start to group everybody in the same box and this and that. Yeah. I saw you a mile away. I saw you when you were walking. Knew who you were. Then when you open your mouth, you confirmed it. Because I'm listening. And I spotted you before you spotted me. Because I'm ready, vigilant. I'm alert. I'm prepared. Karen says the enemy definitely identifies themselves. Yep. And the ones that don't, just be quiet and listen. It's a contract. It's a contract, fam. In order to be connected to a contract, there must be engagement. You know, when they say anything you say can and will be held against you, it's a contract. Every engagement you make with somebody is a contract. I'll be over there tomorrow. Oh, how can I help you? Good morning. Do you need anything? Those are contracts. And one thing about contracts, not all contracts are good contracts. Not all of them are lawful. And not all of them are in your favor. Same thing with buying land. Believe him, it was in his nature. Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the thing. It's in the nature, man. Well, fam, I thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. And I appreciate your comments. I appreciate y'all interaction. And I love the fact that we freely communicate what we got to say. It doesn't mean we all agree, but we all understand that we ain't here to tear nothing down. We here to restore, and we here to build. And we here to create awareness and prepare, family. It's 2025, fam. And when people tell you that they are who they are, believe them. And understand that just like that snake that mimics something that I saw on the path that consumed that animal. The animal was just walking, minding his business, and it saw opportunity, right? It saw opportunity, and he thought that snake was something else. The snake was just playing with his tail, enticing. And then the moment the snake Straight, it striked. Then it rolled them all over, wrapped around. The moment that took place, the animal learned it was too late. It fought and it fought a good fight, but it didn't win. Understand, when you're walking out here in nature, you need to be very aware of your surroundings. You need to know there's things out here that can delete you and will delete you if the opportunity is there. And not all opportunities are good opportunities. Be patient, be observant, be quiet, look, watch. Because if that animal would just not pounced and just sat there for a little while, the animal probably could have seen that snake crawl away. It was enticing. And sometimes, you just have to go the other way. Sometimes you seeing that engagement, and you have to go another way. But make sure you find the look for those eyes and look into them eyes. And when you look into them eyes, look at that soul. Don't look at the smile. Don't look at the slant of the cheekbones. Don't look at the gestures. Look into them eyes. Because a lot of times they'll be smiling. Hey, how you doing? Come here, little girl. You're a handsome young man. Come here. Let me talk to you. Sit down right here. Let me holler at you for a minute. Look in the soul. Look into them eyes. Everything that smiles in your face are not looking for your best interest. So Triple S, we praying for you. Hope you men, hope if anybody's going through any challenging situation, I hope y'all men, hope your body can be restored. And for those of y'all that's doing good, show a little thankfulness, man. Show a little thankfulness. Even if you're not doing the greatest, still be thankful. Because you got an opportunity to add value to life and add value to one another. Love you. Appreciate you. Thank you. Stay strong. Till the next time. Don't forget, whatever you do, don't forget to keep on growing. Grow. Keep on growing, y'all. Move ahead. Push through. Don't get caught up. Don't get emotional, fam. Don't get caught up in this foolishness.